Hello, and today I wanted to cover a very important topic, a topic that really was quite substantial for me back when I was first starting my agency, and what I think is going to be very substantial to a lot of advisors, agents, and brokers watching this. And this is how to quit cold outreach for forever. And anybody who's done cold outreach knows how much of a pain in the butt it really can be, how difficult, frustrating, and just soul draining it can be constantly sending out, whether you're doing cold DMs, whether you're doing cold emails, cold calling, knocking door to door, whatever it might be. I've been through pretty much all of them. I understand the struggle, and I understand how real it is to be doing that, and how much it can kind of suck, to be completely honest. So, although it's a great way to get clients and kind of get your foot in the door in whatever industry you're in, and get your start, it is a difficult way to grow and scale, and it is something that you'd like to get out of eventually at some point. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to get out of this forever and never need to use it again. And I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to hop right into it. All right. So let's cover why cold outreach sucks to begin with, and then we'll get into how you can quit it. So for those of you who haven't even maybe started yet, or those of you who are doing cold outreach, I'm sure you know this very, very well. But let me just kind of give a bit of a reminder to those who aren't doing it, or who are doing it, who maybe don't realize some of the long-term effects this can have, right? So cold calling, right? Cold calling can be incredibly mentally exhausting as well as demoralizing, right? You're constantly on the phone using your voice, making calls, trying to convince people to get on calls with you, buy your product, whatever it is that you're doing. It can be a great way, like I said, to get your start. And I know guys who've cold called who've done really well with it. But honestly, for 9 out of 10 people, they just aren't cut out for it. And it can be incredibly demoralizing to make call after call after call and constantly get rejected, constantly have, your ideas kind of thrown aside. We're all humans. We all seek validation. We all seek the same things. We all want positive attention from people, right? And it's hard to be demoralized and keep going. And it really sucks, man. Like cold calling it's a tough go. Even if you are decent at it, it's a lot of rejection. And that's not something, I'm very much an energy guy, right? And I just personally think if I start my day off by having 90 people tell me, this sucks, I don't want it, or rejecting me, it's not going to put me in a very great mood. I'm going to feel that energy for the rest of the day moving forward, when all I'm getting is just rejected over and over and over again. It's going to put me in a mood that maybe isn't as productive as if I was just, spending the time making the content and having you guys tell me, wow, this really changed my perspective on this, and getting that positive feedback and reinforcement. That's kind of how I view it. And yeah, it's very tough to be demoralized with cold calling. Door knocking, right? That's very physically demanding, right? You're going door to door. You're, in all these sorts of different weather conditions, rain, sleet, snow, depending on how dedicated you are towards it. And it's similar to cold calling in the sense that, having doors slammed in your face all day isn't very nice either. But now you add the physical element on top of that, just makes it all the more tough. I think you probably have a little bit better success rate with door knocking than you would cold calling, but same thing. It's a tough go. And then if you're doing emails or DMs, right, it's incredibly slow to iterate. So this one's the least, because you're not feeling the direct impact of the rejection nearly as much as somebody's voice or physical presence on the phone or door to door. But it's a different pain, right? You're slow to iterate because you need to find out, what text works, what are people actually responding to, what do they like. It's incredibly time consuming, right? It takes a lot of your time, so it's incredibly hard to scale, and it's just energy draining because it's so much time it takes. So I'm sure a lot of you guys were already aware of why cold outreach sucks, but sometimes a reminder is just necessary to those who aren't doing one or a couple other of these strategies, right? So because we can tend to get into a place where we do cold calling and we think, oh, well, door knocking or emails would be so much easier. And they're all tough, right? They're like, I'm not saying they aren't necessary at some point, but they're all tough. So, okay, we've established that they're tough. We don't need to keep harping on that. why do we need to quit these at some point within our business, right? Why can't we just keep doing this forever? And why won't this work and be a sustainable thing for us to do? Because some of you are probably getting clients from cold calling, door knocking. You great, good job. I'm glad that you're getting clients from it. But at some point in your business, you're going to need to quit doing it. Just letting you know right now. So why do we need to do that? Well, they're going to drain every little bit of life you have left in you, and it's just going to make you lose all the desire and the passion that you had for your job and even your life, right? Like, I remember when I was first starting my business, and we did a lot of, it was mainly emailing we did. My co-founder did a bit of cold calling, but email was the one that we really stuck with. And I remember, man, just waking up and first thing I did all day, just emails, emails, emails. And it was very hard to keep the desire to actually keep running my business. My life felt pretty dry at the time, just sending out emails. And I knew it was something that I needed to get done, but I'm glad that I got it done quickly and I got it out of the way so that I was able to keep that desire and the passion that I had for not just again my job and my role within my business, but also my life, right? And could get my life back. The other thing as well is it can give you a bad rep among clients and even people in your industry if you do it the wrong way or if it gets overdone, which I guess is doing it the wrong way. But if you're doing it the wrong way to local people, if you're let's say an insurance agent, and you're known as the guy who constantly, sends people spammy emails or spammy phone calls, it's not going to attract people to your business. And it can actually end up, if you overdo it or you do it the wrong way, like it can end up actually having a negative impact on your business. Not all attention is good attention, when it comes to local business, right? Like if you're the local business who doesn't do a good job, nobody's gonna shop with you, nobody's gonna buy from you, nobody's gonna trust you, right? So you don't want to develop a bad reputation among those people, and even people in your industry who might blackball you, not want to hire you, not want to work with you, or any of these other things too, if you're not doing it the right way. So you need to be very careful the way that you're going about it. You can't be spammy, and you get a little bit desperate when you've tried so many different things. When you're cold calling and you try a different script that's a little more controversial or out there, and you end up ruffling some feathers and getting people upset because you're desperate and you want to just close a client. So it's something to be careful of. The other way as well, these methods can't be scaled, right? Not efficiently. Cold calling, right? You can only take so many calls in the day. Door knocking, you can only knock on so many doors in the day, and there's so many doors in your neighborhood. There's only so many numbers you can even call to begin with in your area anyway. Emails and DMs, I mean, I'm assuming you're doing them manually. There's software that you can get to scale, but at that point you're spending money, and the money would be better spent on other things, in my opinion, anyway. For the amount that you're going to spend on software and spend on email lists and DM lists or whatever, I personally think you're just better to scale with another method. So what method should you use to try to scale them? Well, I'm going to advocate for online lead generation. Why? One, it's extremely cost effective if you've done it the right way, right? So when you're doing it in a system where you're not paying some scummy agency that's charging you a monthly retainer every single month, it's a great way to actually get off the ground. We've generated leads ourselves. For our average campaign right now is hovering somewhere at around $5. We've even generated leads for as low as $1.40. It's on our site. You can take a look at that if you'd like. It's in the description of this video. And lead generation can be started with a little amount of money, and it's scalable with great ease, right? It's extremely scalable. It's exactly what I built my business off of. This was the backbone for my entire business as a lead gen agency. I had the advantage of doing lead gen for myself and being able to put myself out there, get my clients, and that was how I got my start as well. And it wasn't a very large amount of money. I've covered this in quite a few other videos. We started with $1,500. We only spent, I think it was like $500 the first month, and that was what literally grew us. That the money that we spent ended up turning into, we had to spend more, but it ended up turning into over 20 grand in revenue, right? So it was one of the best investments I ever made, and we were able to scale from that first $500 to a month to being able, in total, I think in 6 months we ended up spending a little around $6,000, somewhere around that range. So obviously we had to scale up the amount that we were spending per month. It ended up being I think the highest month we ever did was like 1,400 or something like that. But within that certain article, we've spent a lot more on lead gen a month before, but within that time frame, that was what we were doing. And it's also sustainable. It's a sustainable system that takes the monkey off your back and just relieves you of the financial stress that you were having when you were doing these methods. Because let's face it, a lot of the times if you're doing these methods, you're financially stressing about getting a client through the door. And when you have a sustainable system that takes that monkey off your back, you're able to fall in love with your industry again. You're able to fall in love with the job all over again. You're able to fall in love with life all over again. You're able to do this when you don't have this constant stress that's weighing down on you. You're really able to get to a much better place. And for me, what I noticed, it wasn't so much within the business, but mentally. Like, I knew it was going to feel better when I didn't have to worry about the money and where the next client was going to come from. I didn't know the amount of serenity it would give me to know that. I didn't know until I experienced it. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I think online leads, if they're done correctly, is the absolute best way to do it. Now, I'd mentioned, most agencies that you work with are going to charge you monthly retainers, which are absolutely ridiculous, right? So you're going to have a return on your ad spend of at least 2 just to break even if you're working with an agency. But the problem is you don't want to actually do it yourself, because then you basically have to learn a second career in digital marketing. And that's not your job either as an agent, broker, or an advisor. That's not what you signed up for. It's not what you want to do. So we got around both of these things with the exclusive lead system. It's a done-for-you multi-dimensional lead generating process. We set up the entire lead generation campaign from head to toe. We set up lead gen on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as retargeting as well. We also include lead nurturing processes, which means we don't just set up the lead gen processes that most agencies will set up for you. We even take it a step further and give you even more to work with. We give you email campaigns that we built out, as well as text campaigns that go out every single week. Most of this is automated as well, so you don't even have to touch it. And it sends everything right to your leads. It's a beautiful, beautiful system that we've set up. Our last client that we had use it, Ben, was able to generate 4 clients in 9 days of the system. Again, you can check that out on our website, or I have that video. I'll try to link it in this YouTube video if I can. We just posted that on our channel too. Really excited for him. System works absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's completely done for you. So you don't even have to worry about it. It's I know it sounds complicated, but the way that I like to kind of envision it is kind of like a car. Car is a very complex machine. There's a whole bunch of things underneath the hood, the engine, the axles, all of that. You don't need to worry about the engine and the axles. We build all that for you. All you need to worry about is the gas pedal, the brake pedal, and the steering wheel, and steer the system wherever you want to go. Because once it's done, we hand it off to you, right? It's just like a car. We build it and you have it. You don't need to pay a monthly fee for this. You just have it. You can use it. You can go as fast or slow as you want with it. And if you still don't want to manage the system yourself, we provide you with a chauffeur. We provide you with a trained virtual assistant who will take care of the entire thing for you for very, very, very cost effectively. And make sure to actually improve the campaign for you as well while things are going. So you get a chauffeur and a mechanic for the system all in one. So if you'd like to figure out more about the exclusive lead system, feel free to shoot me a DM on any social media you'd like that you use. We're Nessie Renault on there, and links to that are in the description of this video, or you can drop a comment below this video. Excited to talk to you guys about it. I hope that this video was extremely helpful to anyone who is doing cold outreach, knows how much it sucks. Hope this kind of gave a little bit of a vision forward and a little bit of a paradigm shift. So with that being said, peace. I'll see you guys in the next video.